Okay, today I want to talk about SVG. It's a slight detour from what we've been doing. Do you guys know what we talked about this before? We kind of like touched on it, but we didn't really go too far into it. So does anybody remember what it is at all? And without looking at the other slides, cheating. What's that? Did you see that from the slide?
No.
Yeah, you did. Okay. What does it mean? You know what it means?
It's a vector.
It's a vector image, yeah. It means scalable vector graphics. It's kind of stupid that, like, honestly, the S is redundant. It's vector. Of course it's scalable, right? Like, that's, like, the whole point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, graphics, like, yeah, okay. But if you just called it vector, it'd be hard to Google, right? So SVG is good, easy to Google. Googleability is really important in this kind of stuff. So Canvas is cool, but let's look at some more options before we go deeper, right? That's kind of why I want to talk about SVG. Because also, SVG lately has become this, like, huge thing on the web. Like, everybody's using SVG for stuff right now because it's, well, do I have a slide on that? Sort of. So it was introduced in HTML5 as a web element, I should say. I mean, SVG itself has been around for a while. It really has nothing to do with the web or the internet. It was just created as a vector file format. The cool thing about it is that it's XML based, which do you even know what that means when I say it's XML based? It's just XML, right? That language with the brackets. It looks like HTML kind of. Right, we talked about that. XML. If you ever use Flash, you probably loaded an XML file at some point. So, like, if you go to your desktop, say, and you're like me and you just have random images of yourself sitting around, if I open up a picture of, let's see, I think I have like a picture of myself. Here's like a picture of me holding a piece of kale, right? If I open up this image in a text editor, that's not what I was expecting. I have like a plug-in. That's not what I was expecting.
What's it supposed to do?
What? That's what I'm trying to show you. All right. Anyways, here we go. Now, I'm gonna use this. This here will show us, right? So let's go desktop. I don't remember the number. No, you're not gonna look at my TurboTax return.
2012 though.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like my social's on there. I don't think it's on the internet. Okay, so here's an image, right? Let's look at this image. But like this is like the underlying code in the image, right? Like this is it. So it's saying may be a binary file. See it anyway? Yeah. So like, oh shit, this does not help us here, right? Like this is very confusing. It's just a bunch of stuff, and I don't know what it is, right? Yeesh. So that's painful to look at. But that's what because images are all like encoded, they're bits, right? They're like pixels with color values, millions of them, right? So that's what an image is. But obviously with vectors, it's different. It's math equations, right? It's like points and then lines connecting them. That's what vectors are, right? So if we look at, I actually have a really large collection of SVG files for some reason. It's just at work we make a lot of icons, and so I have a lot of these. So like if I look at, say, I was playing with this star the other day. So if I look at this star, I'm going to open this up, and it's just a star, right? Cool. So if I look at this SVG, let's see if I can open it here. Yeah, okay, cool. That's the core. That's what the file. That's what we're looking at with the star. Now, when we looked at an image like a JPEG, it's just a bunch of crazy dots. But SVG, it's just an XML file. It even has the XML doc string or whatever it's called at the top. And then, if you break it apart, it's a little easier to see, right? Let's just break it apart. So this is what? What is that? What is this line here? I'm looking for a word, one word. This, right here, this line. What is it?
Comment.
Yeah, it's a comment.
Comment.
Comment. It's a comment. A comment? Like it doesn't get read by the compiler or the interpreter. Like in JavaScript we do // so that something doesn't get interpreted.
Is it the same thing?
That's HTML.
This is HTML comment, yeah. So XML, HTML use the same comment syntax. So like for instance, if you wanted to like comment out this whole thing, you would do this. And now this file is empty, right? Like whatever's reading this file is going to skip over these comment lines. Cool?
And what's the comment in CSS?
CSS, it's the
/**.
yeah. It's here. I'll show you. Oh, let me open up a new file. So if I had like okay. So if I did like thing with oops. And then if I wanted to that's how I would comment it out.
It's the same as JavaScript.
It's the same as JavaScript, yeah. And then HTML, you can't, it's a key command in this thing. So then that's CSS does it like this, JavaScript does it like this. In JavaScript you can do it like that, or you can do it like this. It's the same. And then in HTML, it's this ridiculous syntax. Oops. Yeah. The only thing, this might seem crazy. Like you're like, why would you do this? Like, why not just something else? But it kind of makes sense if you look at it like this. So let's see. Let's say I want to comment this out. Instead of wrapping it in it, I can just do that. Right? Yeah, I think that's why they did it, right? Because then you just do exclamation dash dash and then dash dash and then the brackets are in. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Either way, that's a comment. So that's all that line is. That's just a comment saying that this file was generated by Adobe Illustrator 18 with the SVG export plugin, and that's the version 6 build 0, whatever. So like, you don't need that line for the file, right? We can delete it, right? It won't change anything. Let's delete it. Deleted, close it, reopen it, open it. Yay, I got my star. Got my star. Man, chill out, star. Okay, so that's a star. Where was I? What the hell was I talking about? Right, so SVG background. It's introduced as an HTML element in HTML5. So it's only, people have been using this for a few years, right? It's still, even though it's been used for years, it's still considered kind of new. People are still kind of figuring out things to do with it. It's the actual SVG standard itself is developed by the World Wide Web Consortium, which is like, I don't know, a group of wizards who determine what the internet's going to look like, right? Just kidding, they're humans. And we're going to look at the spec later. Fun, right? It's a lot of attributes. It's not exciting, but it is what it is. And what it does is it contains SVG graphics. Like that's what the SVG tag does. The cool things about it are that it's vector, so it scales, right? So this star that I have here, like, since it's just, it's just an Illustrator vector, that's all, right? So I could have this star at 20 pixels or 2,000 pixels, and it's going to look the same, right? And it doesn't have to be just simple artwork like this. Like you can get slightly more complex stuff, like this like newspaper icon with like knockouts and whatnot, or like I don't know, what's this? Ah, cool, whatever, stuff like that. Totally works with SVG, and you can scale it. Also, compared to an image, like let's say if I want to have an image that's like 2,000 pixels, like a star, that's a lot of pixel data that I have to render. But with an SVG, it's just a couple lines with a scale. That's it, right? Like our whole star file is how big? This big. How big is that? Show me. It's not even 1 kilobyte, right? It's 388 bytes. It's tiny. It's non-existent, right? So, like you couldn't make a star in Photoshop at like a fraction of that, I'm sure. Or like, let's see, if I exported this thing the way it is as a PNG, let's preserve transparency, whatever. It's about 1,000 pixels. It's gonna be, oh, fuck it, let's just see. Does it say? Oh, it's gonna be 14K. So it's 14,000 times bigger, right? That's big. So yeah, net, or sorry, 14 times. 14 times. No, more than that. It's a lot more than that. Either way, take my word for it, it's a lot smaller. So that's cool. We like that. We like optimizing. The bad things is that since you saw SVG is just it's just XML, right? You can see how this, because it's placed inside of your web page, it can, if you have a complex image, it can start to bloat the browser, which is a performance drainer. Like if you start to have all these nodes and you're like moving them, it can slow down browsers, especially on mobile. So you got to be kind of careful with these. Like they're great if you're using just a few of them or like little animation components or whatever. I probably wouldn't animate like an entire thing with it though, right? That would be bad.
So it's rendered by CPU or graphic cards?
Let's see. That's a good question.
I think CPU, right? So
I'm pretty sure this is just CPU. Like, yeah.
That's why Flash takes a lot of performance.
Right. But I mean, when you start to apply like the transforms to it, a lot of that stuff, the animation aspect, is happening on a lot of times on the GPU. So that'll be faster. But it depends. Like the object itself, when it's just rendered on screen, I'm pretty sure that's just the CPU. The animation might be different. I'm honestly not 100% sure on that. Yeah. Anyway, so looking a little deeper into this. Well, actually, do I want to look deeper into this? Not really. I don't think we need to really get it. Hopefully this kind of makes some sense here, right? Like, does it at all, or does it just make sense to me? Like we have. You don't even honestly need to see that stuff. Let's not even wrap the line. Oh, it has to wrap. Like, you don't even need to see this. All right. So all this is an SVG tag with a tag called polygon inside of it. Do you guys know what a polygon is? Right? It's just a shape with multiple sides. That's it. So this polygon just has a bunch of points. This is a points attribute. And then, so x, y, x, y, x, y, x, y, blah, blah. So if you were to map these out, 517. If you were to just map these on a graph, you would make a star, right? Yeah, that's all it is. This is just straight up lines making a star, right? Pretty simple. So hopefully that makes sense. That and all it is just it's just HTML nodes with some values. That's it. Kind of neat.
How to change the colors in the code?
Ah, I knew that would get here. We're going to get to that in a second. I have like an example for it. But so let's just look at, okay, what can you do with this thing? So here's a couple examples. I love this website. There's so much cool stuff here, right? And now check this out. These are like, I'm selecting these like type, right?
Text.
Bam, that's an O. Like if I go copy, paste.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, right? So if you, let's like check it out.
That's actual text. That's
Yeah, man. Proper text. So where it is. 1 second. Oh, right. What do we got here? Hello, X has. I haven't actually looked at this yet, so I don't even honestly really know what the hell it's doing. Oh wait, it's got to be this. Yeah. So look. So this S text, this is it's a reference, right? So it's referring back to this ID, which has the word code in it. I don't know much beyond that, right? You would have to look into exactly what else is going on. But there's a bunch of these things, right?
Whoa, that's cool.
Where you can like animate
Whoa,
things behind it.
that's
Cool.
I like that one.
Oh. Burn! That one's kind of neat. Like, how the hell did they do that? It's probably an animated GIF behind it. Probably.
Oh, can I substitute other animated gifs behind that one?
Totally.
Fun.
Hide. That's cool.
I like that.
Kudu. Weird.
Wait.
Notice they do say support only in Firefox and Safari, Chrome and Opera behind the experimental web platform features flag. Oh, it's working in our Chrome, but like I said, a lot of this stuff is still pretty new, so it's not going to work in like every browser. So you want to make sure that like grandma and grandpa can still kind of see it a little bit, you know. Art, and then that. It's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. How the hell are they doing this? I don't know. Oh, it's HTML5 video text fill. So they're filling the text with video.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? That's amazing.
Well, but really what they're doing here is what I'm assuming is that you can define a clipping path in SVG, and then you just set the clip path to cover your video, and you can see underneath it, which is really cool. The coolest thing, though, I'm pretty sure, is that, like, I don't think this is a background. I think that's actually transparent. Like, I'm pretty sure if I were to change the background color, it would be fully transparent. Let's try it. Wrong. Wrong. Oh, wait. What if you just don't fill it? Or fill with red? That's cheating, though. Transparent? Oh, that's just the image, right? Oh, because it's a mask. So the fill is the outside part of it. Okay. Yeah. There's other, I know with video it's probably harder to do this, but there's a way I can show you later to do real transparent masks. I actually have an example of that here. So, yeah, but anyway, these are cool. That's one thing that I thought was neat. Here's another one. They're all from the same website. You notice these guys are amazing. Everything they do is awesome. Check this out. I think this one's really slick. So, like, here, your hamburger menu. You guys are used to seeing these, right? Like mobile menus. So you click it, right? Just like kind of cool. And then you click it to close. Yoing. Yeah. It's just a neat effect, right?
Does it work on mobile? Yeah.
I don't know. You'll have to try
Let me
it.
try.
And then there's different menus, right? Like there's this one. Boing. Boing. Oh, so nice. That's so nice. Drag and drop.
Oh.
Collapse and expand. Oh, it's great. Menu icon. Ha! I love little subtle animations like this. Like this animation on a normal web page is probably 40 pixels by 40 pixels, and maybe 6 people will notice it. But for the people that do notice it, it's like the coolest thing ever. You know? Oh, I've seen this one. This one's pretty cool. Like if you ever use Path, it's like a Path kind of menu. Radius. BB. Oh. Whoa. Those are great. I love these. Blue. That one's really cool. Yeah, it's little. I love subtle stuff like that though. Just really, people love it. Oh wait, there was one more one. Buttons. Boom. These are cool. It does?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So like you can kind of see the difference though, right? Immediately of like between SVG and Canvas. Wait, does it work well on iPad?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's really cool.
Buttons. Maybe. Let's see. Oh wow. Yeah, that's cool. Just tap it. Oh, there we go. Just a little slower. What about the buttons? All right. Yeah. Cool, those work. Yeah, they're pretty responsive too. They just kind of go right away. They must have optimized it.
This is just getting a makeover and it won't let me see.
Yeah, no. The main website is it's I don't know why it's been under development for like a while. If you go to Codrops though, I think it's Codrops.
It's okay. It probably works on phone.
Yeah.
It works on iPad.
This website's amazing. Whoever these people are, they're brilliant. They do everything great, and just check their shit out.
Is it .com?
It's
Oh, I see. Okay.
tympanis.net/codrops. Yeah. So yeah, like you probably already see kind of how Canvas is used a little differently from SVG, right? Like Canvas is for these like full, like very immersive, like big experiences, whereas SVG is used a lot more in like kind of targeted scenarios, or even you'll use it for stuff like this, like buttons and cool effects, or you would actually also use it as like source artwork for a Canvas project, right? Like you might prepare your assets using a mixture of PNG and SVG, and then use Canvas to actually, composite it into some big thing. That's probably for a really ambitious project. But for like your day-to-day kind of web things, if you want to add like something cool, interesting, like SVG has a lot of neat little things you can do. I had one other example I wanted to show.
Whoa.
This stuff's really popular right now. Ding. Ding. Oh, that was it. So I was excited for another one and it didn't show up. This one's really cool. I like it. Kind of neat. Yeah. The craziest thing though is how they achieve these animations. It's such a hack, but it works really well. If you look, here's a cool. I'm totally doing I'm totally sidetracking here. Vivus. This is a cool thing that it lets you animate your SVGs, right? But it's a little strange the way it works, right? So what it does, you can see right here, it uses a CSS property called stroke-offset, and it animates a dash offset. Now that might not make sense, but let me show you what it means. So like, actually, you know what? This is a perfect example. I actually submitted an issue the other day to
So it
this.
just like reads the points.
Bam. Bam.
Oh, perfect.
Right. No, there was a fix. The fix though was it was what was it? Nope. Line's not joined properly. It was this self-destroy. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy. Okay, cool. So okay, like you're like, okay, how does this work? You know what? Let's take self-destroy true to off because it kind of messes some stuff up. So if you look at this, it's so crazy. It's just awesome that somebody thought of this, I think, which is why I kind of want to show you guys. So if you look here, so this is an SVG, right? Like I said, it's just an HTML, right? Ish. It has slightly different rules, and we'll get to how you actually color it and fill it later. But I just think this example is really cool. So there's two attributes on this SVG element, right? Don't worry about that. Just worry about these two things. So there's stroke-array and stroke-offset, right? So you know what a stroke is, right? It's just the line outside of shape. So a dash, though. You know what a dash, like, yeah, like dashed lines. So let's play with these values here real quick. I'm going to make the dash array 10 and 10.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. So 10 and 10. That means...
Oh, it's the line and the space.
Oh.
Right. So 10... I can't remember which is first, the black or the white, but it's like 10, 10, 10, 10,
Right.
10, 10. So if I change the second value to 20... Oh, shit. Damn it. Okay, yeah. right?
Okay, so that's this
Yeah.
space.
So now this distance is twice as wide as that. So 20, 10. So obviously the 10 refers to the color part, right? And then you could see, you know, well, if I make it 20, 20, yeah, 20, 20, let's say like 2 pixels,
Oh, it's cool.
2 pixels, 1 pixel, 1 pixel. All right, anyway, you get the point. So it's like, are these pixels even doing anything? Yeah, it's just like units. So you don't even need it, right? SVG is weird. Like the values are kind of odd. It doesn't always do what you want it to. Okay, so now let's change the dash offset. I'll make it 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I think these are they're too big. Let's let's make it like 4 and 8. Okay. So now let's change the dash offset. Interesting. Like if you look at this, like I'm just changing the value, right? The stroke dash offset value.
Animation.
But it's animating. It's animating. Exactly. Exactly. That's how they're doing those line drawings. So
Make
you
animation here.
so now but the thing is here is like let's say I want to animate it from not showing to showing, right? So if I know the length of this whole thing, then look, I just have to have a dash that's as big as the whole length of it, and then a part that's empty, and then I can just animate it in. Does that make sense? Probably not. let me show you what I mean. So how big is this thing? So this thing's around,
Wow.
yeah, so it's about 200. So what if I reverse these? Or make them 200, 200. I don't know. You know, I mean, you kind of you get the idea. So I go from like say not showing it to now I show it, right? And then some other stuff happens. But yeah, and then what self-destroy does is it just all it does is it gets rid of these. You can see in the source code. It just does it like it uses jQuery and it just like just removes it. Yeah, really simple. So that's such like a it's hacky, right? It's a hack. Like they're just using the dash offset to animate. Like that's really bizarre, you know? Like it's kind of amazing and
Smart.
it's really smart. Yeah, like and it's kind of like the main technique for doing this right now until something better comes along. But yeah, that's really the I don't know, just like the way it's done right now. Did I have right? Yeah. So think about that. Like all of these are just done like that. They're all done the same way. We'll get to color in a second. Everyone wants to know about color. All right, we'll do color. I know. Okay, great. How do I do SV? How do I SVG? Right? Yeah. How do I SVG? I did that on purpose. That was fun. So there's 2 ways you can do it. One, embed it directly using an SVG tag. Right? We just saw, like, essentially, remember this? Right here? Everything except for the XML. We don't want the XML. Just everything inside the SVG node, just copy it and paste it into, let's use JS Fiddle. This is our HTML, right? Boom. That's it, right? So it's just HTML. You just paste it right into your document. Kind of ugly, a little bit.
How about the first line, the X? Oh no. I mean the first line in the SVG document itself.
Right. So
Yeah.
that first line is like it's a doc type.
Oh, okay.
A
That's what I was
Does
wondering.
it matter?
You shouldn't include it. Yeah. Honestly, if I include that line, it's just gonna render. I think it's just gonna render. Let's see. I think it'll just show up on the screen.
So if it's in an HTML doc, then it becomes doc type HTML. Like
Oh, weird. Okay. So that it doesn't render it, but like that first line, a doc type you only have one doc type per file, right? The doc type is saying it's called a doc type, right? Document type. So it's like, what type of document is it, right? So you only need one per document, right? So now, if we're looking at this file by itself, right? Like this is just an SVG file by itself. It's called star.svg. It's smart to have a doc type here, you know? Like, it just makes sense. Because then, if another file reads it, it knows right away that this is XML, right? In practice, maybe you don't always need it, but it's a good idea to include. It doesn't hurt, you know? Okay, so that's a star that we just pasted in. So that's one way to do it, right? So another way is you can use an image tag, which is kind of neat. So I'll just create a quick little, because I need to, Oh, you know what I could do? Let's go to Plunker for this. It's just easier to make stuff. So let's create a new file. Let's call it star.svg. I'm going to paste this into it. Cool. And I'm going to create a file here. Hello, Plunker. Let's keep it real. Oh, it's so much cooler in here now. What? That's not going to work, right? Bam, son.
Oh.
Just like that. Just like an image. It is an image. Right? It's just an image. So, yeah, you can reference it with that. Now, once again, this is like an HTML5 thing, so don't try this in Internet Explorer 7, or it's not going to work, right? In fact, let's go to one of our favorite sites. Can I even fucking use this? I don't even know. Can I use? There's so much stuff that's so cool that you can't use, right? Okay, cool. IE 9 and up. That's acceptable. Yeah. Firefox, pretty new. Chrome, good. I feel confident using this, you know? Like, for instance, you guys might have, I don't know if you've heard of this at all. Flexbox is like, basically forget everything you know about HTML layout, right? This is like the next new thing, right? But it barely works in IE10. Doesn't work at all in 8 or 9. It claims to work in these browsers, but I guarantee you these little yellow things are going to be caveats. Probably doesn't work that great. You know what I mean? Like, it's not ready yet. So this is what I'll be learning in in a few years, but not right now, or like a year or so. But yeah, the site's great for. We've used this before. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. So we can do this. We can also use all of our normal. Oh shit! What have I done? What have I done? Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. Like width 200. You can change it and just use it like normal. The cool thing about this, once again, is like sometimes you have a web page and you need like the same file at different sizes. So like instead of using one big version and then just sizing it down, you can just create one SVG file and copy it over and over. And once again, remember this is these are transparent, so you can do stuff like right, and you get the transparency out of it, and it works. So that's cool. So yeah, so that's the two ways of rendering SVG. These are obviously really simple. Yeah. Pro tip. So like, how do you make these things with Illustrator, right? Yes. So this is really useful though. So when you save as SVG in Illustrator, there's a code. I'll just show you. Fuck it. Why am I doing this? Why am I reading my slides? All right. So I'm in Illustrator. I got my SVG file. So I'm going to go Command-Shift-S, right? Save as. Pull up this thing, star. Yep. Format, SVG. Hit save. Replace, whatevs. And then here's one of these windows that Adobe gives you where you never know exactly what to do, right? The cool thing is this, SVG code. So let's click that. Bam! You can see I've already done this once. But right here. So you just copy all this, and that's your SVG code. Now they don't syntax highlight it for you, so it looks kind of weird. But you can see that's the doc type, that's that comment, and then it's the SVG. So if you just were going to paste this into your HTML document, you just grab everything in the SVG elements, right? You don't need the comment, you definitely don't need the doc type. So that's that. Cool? Yeah, fun. Oh, shit. All right, so that's how you do that. All right, properties. When I say properties, I mean like, in CSS, there's border, background color, stuff like that. Here, of course, SVG can't just use the same properties as regular HTML elements, right? That would be too easy. Instead, it needs these. Okay, don't freak out, right? The tendency is to look at something like this and freak out, right? Don't freak out. Just go to the left column, right? Left, right. And let's look for stuff that we know. Color, okay, I know that. Elements to which properties, fill, stroke, stop. I know fill, okay. See, fill. Fill, that's a thing. Shapes and text content elements, okay. So, I don't know, trying to sort of lead you to it, but fill is a big one. There's all these font things. Glyph, these are all like type related. Marker, I have no idea what these are. Stroke's a big one, right? That's lines. Stroke opacity, oh, whoops, shit. No. Text decoration, visibility, word spacing. So there's actually not that many things here, but like let's look at a few that make some sense, right? And see how to apply them. Okay, so what I did here is I just loaded up like this this envelope. It's just an SVG of an envelope, that's all, right? You can see it's just, there's a path and it's just a bunch of paths, all right? I don't necessarily think it's important to understand what this shit says or does. I don't think it's important. But what is important to just know that that there's an SVG tag, and then inside of the SVG is where your actual shapes are, right? In this case, we have a path. This is just one path. It's just a bunch of points, and that's it. And what are these D equals M09V722? I have no idea. It doesn't matter, though. You just copy and paste it, and then you have your shape. All right, so let's do some stuff to this thing. So first of all, this is a little crazy. So you'll notice here, I actually wrapped the whole thing in a div, which I think is smart to do. So let's change the size on it. It's a little big. Let's make it like 400 pixels wide. Run it. Okay, that's a little better. So now, let's say we wanna. Okay, I'm gonna ask a basic CSS question here. Please tell me somebody can answer this. Let's say I want to style this path. I want to change the color of the path. How do I get a reference to that using CSS?
ID the path.
Path doesn't have an ID, and I don't feel like adding one.
So path, yeah.
Exactly. Just like that. Nice. Right. I feel like a few people got that. Yeah. So you just do. I mean, you could do this one of two ways. I could just do this. I could just do that, but that's going to affect every single path on the page. And what if I have a lot of SVGs on the page? Let's be specific, right? So we're going to call it. We'll do envelope path. So I want every path that's inside of something with the ID envelope, right? So first it looks at envelope, and then it looks at path. Bam, there we go. So now we have all these amazing properties here that we can use, like all these properties. Where do we begin? You remember this? Remember stroke dash array and stroke dash offset? Right? We saw those earlier with the animation example. What do we do? I mean, color's a little weird because you'd think that it's actually gonna it's not gonna do anything though. That's the problem. So I'm kind of like I don't want to show you because it's sort of frustrating. Here's a weird thing. I'll just tell you because it's a little weird. Phil. Who said Phil? Bam. Kill it. Punch it out. Punch it out. It's good. Respect. Phil. Phil. My favorite. Red. Bam.
Yay.
That's red. That was easy. What about let's stroke the thing now, right? Stroke. We know that. We'll stroke it in green. Be very Christmassy.
It's very small.
You can
But it's
kind
there.
of see it, right? It's like 1 pixel, yeah.
Can you do stroke width?
Can you?
I was wondering. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
right there.
So you can
Awesome.
make it bigger.
So you can do percentage, length, or inherit. Defaults to 1, which makes sense because that's what we just saw. I don't think you even need units on this stuff. I think it's going to default to. I think it's just going to default to using pixels. So remember, so even though we're using CSS, SVG just does things a little differently, right? Like stuff like fill, stroke width. Like you can't use these on like normal HTML elements, right? Like they don't do anything. You have to be doing it on an SVG. So we'll do stroke width. We'll call it 20. Let's see if that actually does anything. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yay.
If you look though, it's a little weird.
Shadow.
It's kind of cut off on the side. Is there a shadow? I can't tell if that's the monitor or if that's the... Yeah, is that actually there? I can't even tell. I feel like I didn't see it there earlier. Is that my eyes? Well, that, I'm never going to see it. Let's stroke it in white. Let's see what you see there. Oh, okay. So it's not actually there. It just like seems like it's there. Yeah, metal. If you look though, it's a little weird. Does anybody notice like the size difference? It's a little annoying, right? Like it's like the 20 pixels here, but then over here on the right, it's like smaller. If you notice, which is weird. The reason that is, it's one of those things that's like a little. It can be kind of annoying when you're preparing your assets. So here's that envelope right there. Now, if you notice, this thing goes edge to edge, right? The whole thing. Edge goes from this edge to that edge. So now, if I were just an illustrator and I were to add a stroke to this thing, let's say I just go here, add a stroke, I'll make it like 20 points. Notice how it's outside of the artboard, right? So it would get cut. It's getting cut off is what's happening in our example. So one way to do that would be you could just make it smaller. Probably your easiest thing to do. Save it. Graphics. Let's call it. Actually, we don't even have to save it. We just get our code, SVG code, copy. I don't even know what it's doing. Oops. Paste in here. Run. Yay. Much better. And now it's like correct on all sides. Yeah. So that's the basis of SVG properties. And then
I'm sorry. No,
We didn't know
what happened where?
the background. Oh, did you?
Oh, sorry.
The background is really green.
Well, no. The it's not clipped off on the edges anymore.
Oh.
Right. Sorry. Oh, damn it.
Okay. Yeah.
So wait, we went from this.
Oh, I see. The sides are not.
Yeah. Well, I just made it smaller.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why
So
was it getting cut off before?
Yeah.
because well, that was what I was trying to show by this example. I guess that was not clear. No, dude, please ask me questions. I love it. So the reason before is that, like, if you stroke this here with, say, you know,
Oh, I see.
like, see how it's
cut off,
outside of the, so it gets cut off. Like, your SVG has like a viewable area in it.
Okay.
That's, I'm pretty sure that's, you know what we could have done as well. So there's this thing called a view box, right? So it's like, the view box is like, I'm pretty sure it's X, Y, width, height. So I'm pretty sure if I just up the width to 1,000 or like 1,200, that didn't work either. I actually don't know enough about how these things work for this to even. Oh, what the fuck am I doing? Who am I kidding right now? I don't know what I'm doing. This wasn't part of the lesson. Whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, fooling around with the viewbox values is hard, but what's easy is just resizing the SVG and exporting it again. But like, you'll only run into this problem when you're trying to stroke something and it goes outside. So hopefully that doesn't happen too often. It's generally a smart idea to prepare your files with a little bit of room, like some kind of bleed anyways, so hopefully it's not too big of an issue. So yeah, that's the reason I did this was just so you could see that that it's transparent, right? So like this thing is like alpha transparency, which is nice. So that's your basic what are they called? Basic like CSS properties, right? You could combine these things. Let's do right? I don't know, why not? So now bam. I don't know, why not? So I just combined both of these into one thing.
Same setup.
What's that?
I mean, they have the same setup.
Yeah, they don't have to though. Like I could have done something like or maybe instead of doing that I want to do polygon ID equals star. And then I could say, actually this is more of a class type situation. So maybe I just want to do that didn't work.
It's not yellow. Feel.
Oh,
Feel.
oh my god. Oh, it's like my whole life. It's just how it goes. There we go.
Yay.
Okay. So, the whole point of what I'm trying to show here is that, like, once again, these shapes are just mathematical representation of images, shapes, whatever, and then you can combine them into one big thing if you want. I mean, you could also, so hopefully you're starting to see, like, all right, so this is, like, with an image, you just have the image and that's it, right? With this, though, you can do a little more stuff to it. Like, you could even have something like, shit, how do you do this? Visibility none? Does that work? No. Yes.
Oh.
Right? So, maybe you have...
They can be coded to like show up if you click something.
pretty sure. Yeah. That's the idea. So,
It's free. Oh, there.
let's just, hack it together real quick. Can I use jQuery? I don't want to do it in regular JavaScript. No, let's just do it. Okay, then I'm changing this to an ID. Screw you guys. It's kind of embarrassing that I don't know how to do that off the top of my head. Document get element by ID star. Star dot style dot visibility equals visible. I don't know if that even works, honestly. I feel stupid right now. Oh, yeah, no. I just broke something. I didn't break anything, I'm just kind of like dense. Still not. Oh, wait, that's just there from before. Sorry. Huh. It's right here, right? Am I missing something?
The parameters? I don't know.
Yeah, but it didn't even, like, it didn't even show star. This is supposed to be, I'm not like out of my mind, right? Like this does say show star. It is preceded by function, right? SHOW. Those things say the same thing, right? Oh, that's crazy. And yet when I click this, okay,
Where it says
show star is not defined. Okay. Makes my life a little difficult. Is this? Do I have to like capitalize it or something? Is that what it is? No, it can't be it. Yeah, it's just not working. Okay, cool. That's what's up. So that has nothing to do with what we were doing. And this is like reasons like this is where I'm like, let me just fire up jQuery real quick. It'll be a lot easier. Anyway,
this is why I never get any pictures.
I know, right?
What is wrong?
I know.
Tell me.
Tell me about it. Okay, so let's say star dot CSS visibility visible. I think.
Yay.
Bam! Bam!
Which one was?
The jQuery. I don't know why I couldn't call a thing from. It's crazy to me. That's bizarre.
Maybe script need before the button name. The script
Just what?
need before because the
Yeah, maybe. Yes, but the script, but it's right here. You would think that this would load it separately. It doesn't. Anyway, doesn't matter. I got to work. The point there, though, is definitely that these are scriptable, right? Like you can do stuff with this. You could apply transformations to it, and yeah, like basically, maybe not everything you could do to an HTML element. But most of the things you can do to an HTML element, you can do to an SVG element, which is cool. Now, also, I feel like it's important to understand, like, oh, look, there's the thing called a polygon path, and there's a path, right? And there's other things. There's a clip path, which is pretty cool. But, like, I don't think you really need to understand anything else about it. You really don't. I don't, right? Like, all you need to know is that if you look at that, like, that's what it is, right? And, like, if I go to this, and I inspect it, and I mouse over it, and I see it, I'm like, okay, that's a star. And, like, that's, some path that looks like a weird envelope or an X or something. So, yeah, like that's because there's other things like here you'll see like there's a rect like for rectangle and all that. But like if you're doing complex shapes, you're not going to be using like it's going to be like if you're going to be making your artwork in Illustrator, you're probably never going to really understand what these things are doing. One kind of like bummer of a thing is in order to do a lot of these, like some of these types of things, like you have to actually embed the SVG into the page. Like you can't, oh man, where's my right click? Okay. Right. Like you notice how they're not using the image. They're not linking to images. Just for a lot of these animation things, you have to actually embed your SVGs in the page, which kind of goes back to what we were saying about it's heavy, right? Like your pages get pretty big when you're just slamming tons of DOM nodes into them. Right. Whoa. Interesting. You can kind of see how they do it. Huh. What's gone? Is this thing even visible? Whoa. Trip off that. Yep. Opacity 0. It's hidden. See, all of them are hidden. That's cool. So what it does is it's drawing all these SVG things, and then it's just hiding them, and then the real text is underneath it, right? So it's just like it's like a layer. It's like the lines come in and draw, and then when they're done, it shows all the HTML that's there. It's kind of smart. It's like, you know, classic animation thing where like in the last frame you sneak in like the thing you were animating in, right?
What is the XML and S in inline the SVG?
It's the XML namespace. I don't know why they even have that there. You don't need it. Yeah. It's like a metadata thing, like what? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they would include that. It's weird.
Maybe just to show respect to the respect.
I love that answer. I should have made that up. Like, it's for respect purposes. Yeah, no, I have no idea. I don't know. If you look at like any SVG or any like HTML tag, there's like probably 50 just optional attributes that you can use. So it's like, I'm not going to fill in all the optional attributes. Yeah. But I mean, if you honestly really wanted to know though what the XML namespace is. Nope. Nope. It's not here. Whoa. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, if anybody wants to, they could, read the. Whoa. Damn. There's the DTD. Here, it would be in here. There we go. Great. Once again, why would you include that? Whatever. Just trying to be cool. Where was I? Okay. So that's the properties, right? You've seen that list. You have it here. And then we kind of played around with them a little bit. So it was things like color and whatnot. This one's really cool. This is what I mentioned earlier about doing clipping paths. It's just some blog post. But basically, you can take an image, draw an SVG path, clip it with that on top of it. Did I lose my example of that? Because I don't see it. Shit. Lost my example. Typical. Oh well. I mean, you can go through yourself if you want. The general idea is. So once again,
It's
we
like
have.
making a mask, basically.
What's that?
It's like making a mask.
Yeah, basically. So all you really do is you define a thing called a clip path here, and then you put a path inside of it. So I mean, we can totally just jack this basically. Let's do it. Oh, all right, come on. Wow. Come on, Darius. Let's get it together here today. All right, get it together. All right, so we're just gonna. Actually, we'll do a new one. Who knows? Maybe I'll need that. All right, tab. So we'll define our clipping path. Except let's use something that we know, right? Let's use this star. We know that this is a star, so we know what to look for. Bam. More like it. Bam. Oh yeah, what was the next thing? Oh, right. Oh, it's so crazy. Just view the demo. And then pop it open. Oh, I lost my example. All right. Yes. It's so cool. Don't worry, it'll all come together. It always does. Oh, I didn't copy that? What an idiot. Phew. Oh wait, this is the wrong fiddle, homies. There we go. Alright, so you shouldn't see anything anyways. I need to get an image. Class. Let's put it up here. And we'll use like a stock photo thing. So place, hold it. So we'll do like, I don't know, 400 pixels by 400 pixels. Weird. Oh, you can see the star shade. The star is pretty big. The star is really big. The image is only 400 by 400, so we should probably get a 400 pixel image, right? Is this all making sense at all? All right, cool. So let's go to our artboard. I know how to do that. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm so stupid right now. Not my forte. Okay. Dude, seriously? I feel like such an idiot right now. I'm not a designer. Oh, right. Okay. Whew. So, wait, I want to just change the size. Like, I want to type in the size that I want this to be. There we go. Okay. So, what did I say I wanted to make it? 400 by 400? Okay. Okay. And then... Oh. Is it really 400 right now?
The second artboard is 400.
This one is. Ah, thank you. Okay. Nice. Now it's 400 by 400?
The vector should be on the artboard.
It's not? What do you mean? Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Paste in place. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, is that really 400 by 400? There's no way. Dude, why is this so... Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to open a new artboard altogether. As you can see, my Illustrator skills are a little lacking when it comes to stuff like this. I mean, in my day, we didn't even have multiple artboards. Oh. I'm trying to fit it to the... Oh, God.
What happened?
I was trying to fit the artwork to the artboard, not the other way around. And I kept doing the same exact thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I want this to fit to that without doing anything.
We do it manually.
I don't want to do it manually. Yeah, I guess with the time it's taken me at this point to try to figure out how to do it, I could have just done this. Great, actually, perfect. Okay, so save, blah, star, small. Actually, I don't even need to save it like that because I'm not even going to save it. Get the code, SVG, copy. Am I moving too fast? You guys get what I'm doing?
Yeah.
SVG. Oh, shit. I copied too much. I copied the whole thing. I just need the path. Right? I just want the polygon itself, right? Copy, move over here, except here, and there we go. Bam! And now you might be like, great, why is that so cool? Well, first of all, I'm loading in this image here, right? That's the image I'm working with. And I've made it look like that. And now keep in mind, too, that this is... transparent, right? Which is cool. Damn, you can see it kind of clipped off the left. Whatever, I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, so that's like an interesting technique for masking an image. Like, it's easy to round an image, right? That's easy. You can just round the corners 100%, right? But to do a mask like that, like, I don't know of any other way to do that in HTML or CSS. So, that's all using this clip paths thing. So there's this definition element with the clip paths inside of it. But, I mean, it's getting pretty in depth into it, but it's just like another cool use of this stuff. Hooray! Next thing. Okay, what about a library? Right? This should be like the first question you ask always. Like, well, I don't want to actually do this stuff all by myself. These are 4 that I think are really good. The first 3 are more traditional, like graphics libraries, right? Like create objects, manipulate them, animate, move them around. Not that hard, right? The last one though is more of a physics engine, really. So it's like if you were to do, I don't know, maybe games, I guess. I don't know, except maybe more like moving things. Or like things that require physics. Whoa. I don't even know what this is doing. What are you doing?
It's just animation.
Yeah, but it needs to do something to make me impressed. Right? What? Yeah, I'm just like scrolling around. Once again, not impressed. Anyway, whatever. This one. I thought maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. My favorite of the 3 is Snap. I think it's really cool. Bonsai also cool. Anyway, these 3 are worth checking out. This one I really like too because it has this awesome getting started thing, where you just kind of like fly through. I've shown you guys this before, I believe. This thing is really cool because it just shows you like step by step, like how it all works, right? Like, yeah, it kind of does. But like, we start off here. You just create an instance of the Snap class, and you pass it in, some ID, right? Your own ID, and then you create an instance of your instance's circle, right? So I'm not a big fan of 1-letter variables, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know, it's okay. So you just create your circle, and then you set some attributes on it, right? It's pretty impressive. Create another circle, another one, and then bam, you can mask them, like group them together. Or no, they didn't mask them. They grouped them and then filled them. But yeah, this is neat. Animate them, patterns, gradients, like gradient fills, which is kind of cool. And then then out of nowhere, well, this is cool because they actually load an external file, which is neat, right? So they load up the external file and then are like, changing the colors on it. I'm pretty sure you could animate the individual parts of it too, because if you just create your asset the right way and like name every part an ID, you could get a reference to it and you could make it do stuff. So this one also has some cool demos. It's all about the demo. It's like the first thing you should always do. This thing's pretty cool. Can you actually do anything with it, or it's just like, oh, shit. Oh shit, this works.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, it shows you like different. Oh wow, that's fucking cool. I never actually played with this one.
There's like a little steam thing that comes out too.
Yeah, this is
Like
dope.
when you make the.
So it's like, you can probably see how to do this.
When you make the comic, there's a little.
So look, these are all just little paths, right? Think. So I'm assuming somebody probably just like you probably create this asset piece by piece in Illustrator, and then make sure you name your IDs, right? And then you can do stuff to it, right? Like you can animate it or get references to it or get events on things. Like when you click on this, do that, right? Which is kind of cool. The mascot. These aren't actually interactive. Oh, they are. That is. Ah. That's cool. Yeah, so they're interactive. And then ads. At some point in your life, you're probably going to have a job where you have to make a banner ad. It's just life. It's life. It sucks. A game? Is this an actual game? Oh, look at that. Roll the dice. I can't actually do anything. It seems more like a concept for a game than an actual game. You get the idea. Like you would have to add a lot of like game logic and stuff, but it's I don't know. These are gonna.
Yeah, I always wonder that different users in different computers can control the same screen at the same time.
Well, yeah. I mean like this is just like a library for displaying things. Like
Yeah.
most of that stuff happens like, or you would have some sort of code sitting in the middle that would determine how to update the interface, right? Like as long as the interface can respond to input, then as long as you're giving it inputs, it should be able to do whatever it needs to do, right?
Yeah, but for the final project,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
figure it out.
Right. Yeah, I mean that but I think the idea of using, this is pretty cool because this is a blown out example. Like before now, a lot of the SVG examples we've looked at were like a cool button, a nice navigation element, right? Like little stuff like that. But now you can see that it can be more than that too, right? Like it can really be interactive and interesting, right? Oh, Australia. Oh, weird. Where's it going? No, right to looks like Los Angeles. Cool. Okay. Is that it? I guess so. Cool. Impressive. It just kind of picks back up. So yeah, these are pretty interesting. I mean, the other ones, I recommend playing around with them. This one's been around for a long time. It kind of looks like it, You're like, oh wow, this looks like it's been around for a long time. It's good though. It definitely has a lot of. Oh, you guys use it?
Another possible
Teacher.
Oh, really?
Teacher use the library.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, it's been around for a while. Which is good, but also like it definitely still supports like a pretty old version of Internet Explorer. I mean, maybe performance it's not the greatest, but it's still, it's a worthwhile library. You can do a lot of cool shit with it. Although like there's one library I didn't mention because it's like a whole other kind of ballpark, but I'd like to get to it at some point, which is so D3, right? You guys heard D3, like graphing? Yeah. So D3 uses all, I didn't mention this just because, I don't know, it's a lot more complicated than the other ones, but it's, and also it's really only for like straight up charting. But like this is all SVG based, right? So like these chord diagrams that people love, bam. Yeah, like if you look at all this stuff, you'll see it is just a bunch of SVG stuff, right? That's it. They use this G thing. I don't even know what the G thing is. It's like graph component or something, but that's what everything's made of. So these are, no. There was one other we didn't look at. And then this Bonsai, which has a really nice website and some pretty cool examples as well. But like they're all kind of the same, like in a lot of ways. Like they offer similar APIs. Whoa. That's really cool.
Oh my gosh.
I think I broke it. Whoops. Is Star Trek? This is really neat. Does it start out? Oh wow. Is it? No, it's not. Anyway, that's cool. Wow, shit. How'd they do that? That was really impressive. I like it. Yeah, blobs. Whoa, what are blobs? Oh, I didn't do that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, particle generator.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen a billion of these. Motherfucking Pong.
Oh, save it.
Whoa, nice.
Big fan of the sideways. Oh,
Oh.
this guy's a chump. Moving circles, stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, really, the other thing that this one has, it's pretty cool. It's got this play area, which is kind of neat, and you can click on this thing and go to. They just have like a bunch of different like pre-built examples, right? So like here's how to load a bitmap, right? And add it to the stage and animate it, right? But it's cool because it's pretty simple to do. Like if you've ever used Flash, this stuff's pretty simple. They even have something like Flash-like. Yeah, Flash stuff, sprite properties. So that's horrifyingly scary.
Oh my god.
Right, okay, but it's just showing you that like you can get
Right.
like that the properties are in similar format to Flash. Pac-Man. Wait.
Oh.
Pac-Man.
I'm like, you didn't make Pac-Man in 17 lines? That's impossible. Movies and sub-movies? I don't know. What's it doing? Oh, okay. So it's just kind of like showing a timeline. Yeah, so it's almost like, this thing is kind of attempting to be like a Flash replacement in some ways. Which, does the world need that? I don't know. I really don't know. But either way, so that takes me to, we're right at the end of class. Look at that. I did have I had an assignment today. And it's more of like, it's an assignment that you should want to do. Basically, I mean, the assignment, there's words here. Use one of the da-da-da to create an SVG animation. You should first create da-da-da. Anyway, the assignment itself is bullshit. What I want you to do, though, is I want you to look at these libraries. Like, read them. Like, go to their websites and read their pages. Like figure out what you like about them, what you don't, right? Like that, it's a huge part of of doing any kind of web development is evaluating your options and picking something that you think is good and then you think will help you solve problems or be interesting, right? So really look at these, look at all four of them, and just I want an animation, oops, all good? You good? Whew, all right. That always scares me a little bit. Oh, I forgot to charge my phone today while I was here. That's all good. So really, I want you to create an animation using one of these libraries. It doesn't have to be crazy. I want you to get experience doing it, and to also really the important experience here is getting experience comparing different frameworks, right? And so with your animation, I'd like you to be able to answer, why did you pick this framework, right? What about, if you pick Bonsai, why? Why do you think it's better than Raphael? Why do you think it's better than Snap, right? What about it interests you? If you really want to, totally go against the grain, you could pick a library that I didn't even mention. There are as many SVG libraries as there are, people who write SVG code. So I only listed 4. There's probably thousands out there. There were probably 4 or 5 that I thought about adding, but I didn't want the list to be too long. So, I mean, you don't have to do more research. I've done it for you, but yeah. But so really, it's and as usual, create it in a GitHub repo, right, and just send it over. I'd like it by next Monday. Nobody ever is on time with their assignment, so I'm gonna be lenient. But once again, it's really more about you should want to do this. This is you're gonna animate SVG. That's cool. That's fun. It's not stupid. It's not boring. It's hard. It's not easy. It's not at all easy. But honestly, there's all these examples and all these different sites, so you should be pretty easily able to copy something and change some things. But like, let's try to be ambitious with this. Like, do something. Like, I think the key part of I did write the actual design. So, like, you should first create or repurpose an SVG file, right? Like, that makes sense. Like, I'm sure all of you have assets in Illustrator that you created at some point, right? Right? Like, you can basically take an AI file and just save it as SVG, right? That's all it's that easy.
Can we grab some SVGs off?
Yeah.
The whole thingy?
There's millions of SVG files on the internet.
Because I don't work in Vector very often.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah,
I
you
have
can find.
Flash though.
Yeah, you can find it. You could Google SVG or vector images and find it. So if you can't find it, you want to have like a bunch of just with little icons. So yeah, that's really it. Something cool. That's all I got. Something cool.
Right.
Once again, I do love when people incorporate their like thing. Your thing. What's your thing? Your thing is like what?
Style.
Like, so you have a thing. You do a lot like game backgrounds and stuff, right? That's like a thing. So like maybe you want to animate like you want to take like a background in vector and like animate a tree movie. You know what I mean? I don't know. That'd be like a thing.
Tree.
A tree.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I had it in my head of like, or like, okay, fuck that. Like a mushroom that like expands out and flies into the sky.
Happy tree.
Happy tree friend.
Happy
Happy
tree.
It doesn't have to be a flying mushroom, but you get my
That's
point.
Vector.
Is this cool? Any questions? Any questions?
Is there any copyright about the coding?
Oh, all this stuff's, you mean like the libraries or anything?
Yeah.
Oh, these are all open source. I tend not
So
to. I don't use anything that's not like totally open
How
source.
do they make money?
Because they make cool stuff and then people use it and then people ask them to
And they feel
do stuff.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make money. I don't know. I guess yeah. How do they make money? I don't know. I'm sure like a lot of times. I mean, a lot of people.
There's no
They have a donation box.
commercial.
They do. Well, I mean, people program for fun too. You know, it's like I mean, look at this kid.
Oh, that's
Holy
true,
shit!
yeah.
Well, look at Snap SVG. Look who's behind this.
Oh.
Oh.
It's Adobe.
Yeah.
So Adobe
The developer
has
stuff.
given us this. So that should make you think. Ooh, wait a minute here. What is the license?
Illustrator.
There you go.
Oh, it's the Apache license. That's great. No, the Apache is great. Apache basically means like it's not a long license. It's 200 lines long, and it's basically. I mean, shit. Some licenses are thousands of pages, right? But this one, this is pretty straightforward. This defining the stuff. Each contributor hereby grants you a perpetual, worldwide, non-exclusive, no-charge, royalty-free, irrevocable copyright license to reproduce, prepare derivative works of publicly displayed, publicly perform, sub-license, and distribute the work and such derivative works in source or object form. So basically, you can do anything you want with anything you make with this.
Whoa.
Yeah, and you're also granted a patent license, so no one can come after you and say you're breaching Adobe's patent. So I mean, this is a good license. Yeah.
Yay.
The Apache license. Apache, do you guys know what Apache is?
I think so.
It's the web server. Yeah. It's like the same foundation that that's like the open source web server that drives like 90% of the internet. That's the same license. So you can feel confident using stuff like this and know that it's safe. Cool. So that's it for today. We didn't really get to talk about the project. We can do that next time
Yeah.
after you guys have had a chance to play with an animation platform and do something cool.